Hi, my name is Emma and I'm from Washington. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My parents abandoned me when I was just born. Thankfully, a wealthy man took me in from the street to be a servant in his mansion. I slept in a storage room. It wasn't bad, but I always wondered what the other private rooms were like. One day, when the owners were out, I sneaked into a luxurious bedroom. OMG, it's so bouncy and soft! I climbed onto the bed and jumped around playfully. Suddenly, someone appeared outside the door and shouted at me.
Ew, maid! What the heck are you doing in my room?
She is Amy, the boss's wife. At the same time, the boss also walked in.
Darcy, where did you find this rat?
Keep your cool, darling. Hey, kid, why are you here?
Oh, wait, let me check if she's stolen anything. Don't try to flee, maid.
No, I didn't do that, but can I take this bed to my room, or at least let me jump on it one last time?
Oh, what a mischievous girl.
When I turned to the Amy, she was glaring at me. Terrified, I ran out of the room. A few days later, I met the boss's daughter, Emily. She was introverted, so I took the initiative to befriend her. Despite our 4-year age difference, we became besties. In the next 2 years, Emily even insisted that her father send me to the elite school with her, and he agreed. On my first day at the new school, I was very anxious, but my classmates were very friendly, and we quickly became close. I excelled academically, scoring straight A's on tests, but poor things is, Emily kept getting F's. I tried to help Emily with her homework and realized that she struggled with understanding. I tried talking to Mrs. Amy to find a solution, but she thought everything I said was just made up.
Come on, darling. Our girl is only 8 and still has plenty of time to learn.
But ma'am, I think Emily is having some difficulties with her communication and—
Shut up! It's not your place to speak!
On Amy's birthday party, she announced in front of many people that Emily would recite a poem for her. But you can guess, Emily couldn't read and stood there trembling. All eyes were on her. I couldn't let her be in this situation any longer, so I stepped up to the stage, took the mic, and said loudly, "Well, she's just a bit nervous." So we read it together. Emily leaned close to me and whispered,
Thank you, Emma.
The boss realized his daughter was truly struggling. The next day, he took her for an evaluation, and the doctor diagnosed her with dyslexia. He arranged for a special tutor and asked me to help Emily. Years passed, and Emily gradually overcame her problems with our support. She even achieved excellent academic results and won numerous medals in various subjects. At Emily's 14th birthday party, while I was preparing food in the kitchen, she called me to join them.
Emma, you're not a maid, you're my sis. Let's enjoy the party.
She picked out a stunning dress and told me to wear it. Suddenly, Mr. Amy rushed over, snatched the dress from my hands, pulled Emily into a corner, and said something to her. Mr. Darcy tried to lift my mood by asking me to take pictures with Emily.
Come on, Emma, you've helped her so much.
But as I approached, Emily suddenly became agitated and pushed me away.
Dad, I'm tired. Can we stop this stupid party?
My boss was left speechless and she walked away, leaving us stunned. What's wrong with her? The next morning, when it was time to go to school, she told the driver to leave me behind, so I had to take the bus. When I bumped into her in the school hallway, I asked, "Emily, why are you acting so weird?"
Please, take your dirty hands off me, rat!
Wait, OMG, what did you just say? I was jaw-dropped. What was happening felt like such a nightmare.
Why are you so close with my dad?
Actually, I was also curious why the boss seemed to treat me better than the other servants. Emily, he often asked me to help you.
Call me Miss Emily, okay?
Well, Miss Emily, you really let me down. I swung my hand and accidentally slapped Emily, causing her to fall to the floor. I tried to pick her up, but she suddenly lunged at me and pulled my hair. We struggled on the ground while our classmates yelled in excitement. The fight only stopped when the teacher arrived, and we were both suspended for a week. I was so angry that I couldn't even look at her. The older her got, the more she seemed to resemble Mrs. Amy, arrogant and harsh. On the next few days, Brian, her cousin, returned from France, and she was thrilled because she really got along with him. That night, while I was reading a book, Brian approached me.
You're smart and kind, right? I've heard how you've been helping Emily with her studies.
Oh, it's my pleasure to help Miss Emily.
Well, by the way, aside from studying, what else do you enjoy?
I love sing and dance.
Ah, we're on the same frequency.
We went to the studio and I started humming a song. He seemed to be completely immersed in every single melody. But I didn't expect that Mrs. Amy and Emily would catch us together. That night, Emily texted me, asking me to come to her room. When I opened the door, Emily threw a book straight at my face. It was the gift I had given her for her birthday last year.
Get this trash out of here and go away, rat! Why are you trying take everything from me, acting like a poor cat to make my dad take you home, and then trying to seduce my cousin.
Hey, stop suspecting that Cat is sneaking carrots. I didn't take anything from you. She grabbed scissors and rushed toward me. Emily, you're psycho!
You better watch what you say. Underestimating me could be your last mistake.
Your anger has turned you to evil! I pushed her aside to escape from her room, feeling both scared and angry, wondering why she'd become so weird. The next day, Brian suggested to the boss that he wanted to take me to France with him so they could enroll me in a talent dance class. Oh my gosh, this was an amazing opportunity for me to pursue my dream. I jumped for joy.
Are you guys dreaming? Crazy! Your nephew will take my servant to nowhere. He's not allowed to do that.
But why?
No means no. The rat can't have a lavish dinner.
Brian clenched his teeth and left immediately. I cried in desperation. A dream life had appeared before my eyes, but it vanished like a nightmare. One day I will leave this house, escape from cruel Amy and her ungrateful daughter. That Christmas night, the snow was falling heavier. The next morning, when I woke up, I found a beautiful dress on my bed along with a note asking me to wear it for the family party. How family? Do I have a family? I flipped the note over and saw the boss's name. That evening, I ran into Emily, and we both stood jaw-dropping for several seconds.
What?
Oh, how adorable. You two look like real twins. Do you guys like the dresses?
I put on a fake smile as Emily shot me a harsh glare.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. An outfit won't turn a rat into a swan.
Immediately, she grabbed the fire extinguisher and sprayed it straight at me.
Emily, stop!
Something unexpected happened when Mrs. Amy snatched the extinguisher from Emily and yelled at her.
You lost your mind. You could hurt her.
You just lost control. Are you siding with her, Mom? I hate all of you.
Emily stormed off, and for the first time, Mrs. Amy was acting like that. A few days later, Emily went live, sobbing and fabricating an entirely false story.
Today, I'm going to expose a deceitful jerk who has ruined my family's happiness. Emma, the witch, has managed to enchant my dad, my cousin, and even my beloved mother. My dad made a huge mistake bringing that dirty servant into our home.
What the? I burst into her room, using all my strength to stop the live stream. Soon after, her parents also rushed into the room.
Emily, stop that. We didn't raise you to behave like this.
If you keep acting like this, we'll have no choice but to send you to reform school.
Mom, you said Emma is a vixen, and you were the one who came up with the plan to teach her a lesson, right?
Emily's words shocked both me and Darcy.
Oh, it seems like Emma is actually the most beloved person in this mansion. So here's no reason for me to stay here any longer.
Emily laughed like a maniac and walked away. What's happening?
Emma, please let me explain. You are my daughter. Years ago, I met and loved your mom, Lily, but both families opposed our marriage. Your grandparents arranged for me to marry Amy. Your mother couldn't accept the truth and hid you from me. By the time I found out, she had already passed away and you were placed in an orphanage. The reason I lied and called you a servant was to protect you from trouble. It was all my fault. Please forgive me.
That night was really like a roller coaster for me. Darcy even showed me the birth certificate and DNA test results to prove what he was saying.
Freak, oh, so you were lying to me. You married me because of family arrangements, and it turns out...
Mrs. Amy burst into tears as she charged at the boss, and chaos erupted as they started to fight and argue. I stood there like a statue while Emily walked over and laughed with delight. At school, Emily constantly tried to make my life miserable. She spread rumors that turned everyone against me, hung me out of a window, and put snakes in the bathroom. The torment didn't end. When the boss was away on business, she made me do all the household chores, prohibited me from studying, and scolded and berated me terribly. Of course, Darcy had no way to step in and stop what was happening. On the day the college results were announced, I was accepted into Harvest. It was finally time for me to escape this hell. But before I could celebrate, she and Emily burned the acceptance letter and other important documents, preventing me from starting school on time. My anger reached its peak. Why are you so freakish? What have I ever done to you? Emily has become so cruel because of a witch like you. You'll get your karma.
Jerk, get lost. You worthless piece of trash. You don't belong here. You should go back to the filthy place you came from and behave like your mother did.
I couldn't hold back any longer. Keep my mom's name out of your stupid mouth. I grabbed the nearby broom, ready to give them a beating. Suddenly, my dad grabbed a broom and said,
Don't do that, Emma! And both of you, stop bullying her.
I left in frustration, moved out of the house, and found a new place to stay. I took on part-time jobs to pay for my tuition. I thought my college years would pass like this. One day, after my shift ended, I saw Emily standing outside the door.
Emily? I'm so sorry.
She started to cry.
I know how good you was to me. You taught me, played with me, and protected me from bullies. But I was selfish, thinking you took all the attention from Dad, Brian, and Mom. I realize now that the life I have is something you deserve too. Can we become sisters again?
I understand, Emily. I'm not holding a grudge against you, but maybe I no longer have a chance to go back to that. I smiled warmly at her when suddenly I heard a familiar voice.
Emily said everything I wanted to tell. I used to resent you because your father cared too much about you. I know you're a kind and understanding. Go back to where you belong. Your dad misses you so much. Please, Emma.
Is this what you've been waiting for all this time, Mom?
Hi, cuties! I'm Emma. Get ready to dive into the wild drama of my life, a real-life soap opera that even Shakespeare would have loved to write. But first, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Now we can start. You know those seemingly perfect families where the father is a cheerful, wealthy businessman and the mother is a loving housewife who does everything for her kids? Blonde, rosy-cheeked, perfect teeth children? Yeah, me neither. Ever since I can remember in my life, it was only me and my mom, Emily. My mom loved me, but when it came to my dad, she went to great lengths to erase any trace of him, and she did a darn good job. Mom, I was wondering about my dad. What, Dad? Here, have a bag of candies. It was always like that with Mom. Have a bag of that. Or keep this stock of chocolates. Or look, that marshmallow looks like Grandma Teresa. So instead of finding out anything about him, I just put on a lot of weight. Eventually, I stopped asking. Even my mom sensed that something was wrong with me. While the neighborhood kids played outside, I spent all my time cooped up in my room, reading books by myself. At some point, she must have thought that I needed a father figure, which was true, and decided to get one for me. Unfortunately, her dating life was so disastrous that it probably made Cupid consider early retirement for real. It was the same thing over and over again. It went like this. Emma, please let me introduce you to insert name my new boyfriend. We love each other so much. Of course. 2 weeks later, there we were, indulging in a second bowl of ice cream and watching Titanic with her sobbing uncontrollably on my shoulder. Jack, take me with you. We were supposed to stay together forever. Mom, you met him like a month ago. The best month of my life. But honestly, my mom had a PhD in ruining her relationships. All her boyfriends had shorter lifespans than a goldfish's memory. She would get bored of them and then find a way to sabotage the relationship. Magically, it was always their fault. Antonio, the chef, seemed like the perfect candidate. After all, who wouldn't want a dad who could cook 5-star meals? But then, can you believe it? He abandoned me all night to dine at a restaurant alone, preferring puff pastry over spending time with me. Mom, he works there. Then there was Markin. I thought a cop would keep us safe, right? But I was expecting a rose or a diamond. Instead, he gifted me a police scanner. And then there was Philip. I always dreamt of a dad who could always make us laugh. But he couldn't stay serious for 10 minutes straight. Well, today he's the world's most famous comedian. I was already giving up on the idea of having a stepfather when my mom came home one day with a new surprise. This time, though, I felt something was different, and I was right. Here, love, this is Ben. Benjamin, this is my daughter, Emma.
What a lovely fairy I see. Am I welcome into your manor, my fair maiden?
That man was not like the others. Ben looked older, with such a fine white beard and mustache, and those small round spectacles that made him look like some woodsman from old stories. In my mind, a dad had always been similar to him in appearance. Surprisingly, Ben actually became a father to me, and he really knew how to show me his love. Like that time when I got an A in mathematics, and Ben recited a poem he had written for me.
Here is the smartest of my muses, the shiniest of my lights. A new Pythagoras in disguise.
Nobody had ever appreciated me so much. Or that time, December 16th, when I came back home after a full day at school, only to find the hall full of bearded guys and Ben, in the middle of them, shouting toward me, "Surprise!"
Happy birthday to our fairy.
Those were Ben's friends from the War Games Club. I didn't expect any birthday celebration, because Mom had always forgotten it herself. But now she was there too, right in the middle of them. Could Ben have changed her so much? Ben, I have no words.
It's only my duty to make you smile, my fair maiden.
I hugged him the strongest I could and started crying like a baby. Sir Benjamin, I love you. I had finally found a father after 10 years of my life, and we were like a real happy family. It felt like a dream, and like in every dream, at a certain point, I had to wake up. A few years later, Mom started receiving strange phone calls in the middle of the night. She would pick up quietly like a thief and go to the bathroom to speak as any guilty teenager would. Once I caught her coming out of the bathroom with a suspicious smile on her face. Who was it?
Oh, just some friend. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I make a living out of worrying. I knew something was wrong. The calls suddenly stopped, but the signs were still there. Why would Mom be sending herself those goofy bouquet cards decorated with plastic roses?
Can't I buy nice things for myself?
Not to mention the gold-sprayed aluminum bracelet I found she was wearing out of the blue, after a life of hating bracelets and necklaces.
It's just part of my midlife crisis.
Or the giant heart-shaped balloon we suddenly had in the main hall, glittery as a disco ball, and red as love, or hell.
Wrong address. Or maybe the wind brought it here.
Yeah, like I'm that dumb. Then one morning, I was sick at home, searching in my mom's bedroom for her laptop, ready to consume my eyes in yet another Harry Potter marathon. Where is it? Axio laptop. What is this? There was a letter on my mom's nightstand. Strange. I haven't seen the postman in a while.
My love, I'm like a lost sock just looking for its match.
Ew, so cheesy. When Mom got back home that night, I confronted her. How could you do this, Mom?
Emma, I can explain.
Ben is the only dad I have ever had, and you're betraying him.
If you would only let me talk. Please.
I don't want to listen to you anymore, Mom. I'm tired of you and your... Editor won't let me say the next word. But you can imagine what I mean. I wasn't going to let her ruin our relationship with Ben. I had to act fast. So the next day, I went to confront that homewrecker, getting his address from the letter. I rang the doorbell nonstop. Open up!
What the?
The man was about to blow up. But when he saw me, surprise filled his eyes.
Please come in.
That mysterious man looked like a retired rock star, or an extra from Pirates of the Caribbean. He invited me inside his great villa, which was full of instruments. Look, whoever you are, my mom's with someone else. Just leave us alone. Don't mess up our lives. I've barely found my dad, and you.
What if I told you I'm your real dad?
His words hit me like a mute button.
I was eager to meet you again, but your mom thought you weren't ready.
Of course, he could have been lying, but somehow I knew he wasn't. My father disappeared when I was a child.
Emma, I'm really sorry things got messed up between your mom and me back then, but I'm here now, and I want to be part of your life.
I was left completely speechless. My mom soon joined us. Mom looked truly happy after all those years. She told me she hadn't connected with anyone else because she wasn't over Dad and only wished for him to stay with us. Of course, I was thrilled about having my real dad with me again. But then a sudden doubt fell upon me like a spaceship out of fuel. But Ben!
He already knows everything, and he still wants to be a part of your life. We can be a big family.
So just like that, I went from having no dad to having two. You would think it's like winning the lottery twice, but not quite. I felt overwhelmed and with a great weight on me. Before, I didn't have to worry about disappointing anyone. But now I had two dads who had high expectations of me, and let's say they weren't too fond of each other.
Chris, lower the volume. Emma's studying.
Oh, just jamming out, man. Rockstar practice, you know.
Oh, wow. But I thought rock and roll had been dead for a long time.
Good music never dies. Besides, aren't you obsessed with knights and things from hundreds of years ago?
Oh, absolutely. But unlike your music, knights never go out of style.
Come on, guys. If you really think about it, rock stars and knights have a lot in common, like both loved leather and dying young. But while some wore armor and swords, the others used guitars and a lot of hairspray. That made a lot more sense in my head. Soon things went even further south. One day, they forgot to pick me up, and I had to walk home in the middle of a storm. When Ben saw me, he went mental.
Chris, you were supposed to pick her up. I asked you to do one thing as I had an urgent appointment.
Oops, I totally lost track of time making these cookies to surprise her. Come try one, honey.
As I reached for a cookie, Ben sprang into action like a movie hero, dove over the couch in slow motion, snagged it from my hand, and sent the whole tray flying.
These have peanuts. Emma's your own daughter, and you don't even know she's allergic to peanuts? Or you just don't care?
I don't even want to remember the fight that followed. Can you imagine two gunslingers in front of each other, ready to open fire at the slightest movement? Well, it was kind of like that. The constant fighting became a part of my life. I realized that this was affecting them as well. Ben looked more deteriorated and tired than ever, and my dad seemed constantly anxious, as if he was hiding a big secret. On my first Christmas with my new family, they dove into a full gift duel. The prize of it wasn't a juicy bounty, but my love.
Dear, I got you Ozzy, your new puppy.
Are you serious? I got her Lady Godiva, the most majestic kitten in town.
Oh, thank you guys. I love them both so much. Of course, getting double presents was quite fun. But soon, my new pets were casualties of the parents' war. Lady Godiva was given away to our neighbor's children by my dad after he definitely saw me sneezing with her nearby. It was mid-December, by the way. A few days later, someone shaved Ozzy completely, making him a pink bear with a black nose.
Oh, that's horrible.
Nobody ever found the mysterious culprit. Then it came. December 16th, my birthday again. My dad must have known what Ben did on my last birthday and decided it was a good idea to outdo him at his own game. So he called all of his musician friends to blast a birthday party rock serenade for me.
To my beloved daughter, you, all the people of the world, rock. This song is for you.
But then, right before the concert started, another group of people appeared. Vikings, Romans, Celts. Who knows? They were an army of guys dressed for a historic recreation, waving toy spears.
What is all this, Ben?
There is a time for peace and a time for war, Chris. Men, be ready.
Someone sounded a war horn, and my birthday soon became like the final battle of Endgame. But instead of aliens and superheroes fighting, I had cosplaying history nerds versus elderly musicians incapable of accepting the passage of time. A clash for the century. After watching the battle for a bit, I went home, all set to blow out the candles and dive into the cake. But I found my so-called perfect family in the middle of a loud argument.
What are you even doing here, man? Emma's with her real parents. She doesn't need you anymore. This whole uncle situation is bizarre.
That's true. Explaining it to people is a real pickle.
Say what you want, but I've been her father longer than you.
Well, he has a point about that.
Her father? A history nerd with a Willy Wonka mustache? You must be joking.
I don't think Willy Wonka has a mustache. My mother's mediation skills are truly out of this world.
Why don't we let her decide then?
Oh, no!
Yeah, she's old enough to decide who should be your dad.
No, I am not. Mom, you are my last hope. Please stop this madness. Maybe that's for the best. Thanks for nothing, Mom. So that's how it is? You're piling your responsibilities onto me. Why can't you guys understand? I want both of you in my life. But if you can't handle that, I'd rather have neither than choose between you two. I was ready to storm out, but then my dad said something really strange.
Are you happy, Ben? This was your master plan. First you found me. Then you invited me to your cosplay parties and made me realize that I should get back with Emily. Why did you do all that if you didn't want me here?
Everybody's eyes went on Ben at those words. Mine too. What was all that about?
You're absolutely right, Chris. I shouldn't be here at all. I'm really sorry, Emma.
Then Ben darted away, leaving things abruptly. What the hell is going on? I ran after Ben just in time to catch him while he was already at the park, gasping. He doesn't look too good. He fainted the very next moment. Ben! What is going on? Are you okay? Ben? We rushed him to the hospital, and a few hours later, he woke up.
I guess my plan didn't run as smoothly as it did in my mind.
Why did you do all this, Ben?
My heart is breaking, Emma. Literally, the only thing keeping it together is you. I would love to be with you forever, but the doctors made it clear it's impossible. When I found out, I immediately sought your dad and asked him to come back. I wanted someone to be there for you after me, but then when I saw you and him together, I got so jealous. I thought you'd forget me for good.
I already had tears in my eyes again. I could barely force myself to speak. Ben! I will never forget you. And you are not leaving me at all. I had no idea you did all this. Chris didn't tell me anything.
Yes, because I asked him not to. It was a secret quest, eh? Like the ancient knights did. I did it for Emily. I had to. I'm sorry for lying, but...
Cough made it impossible for Ben to go on talking. I just hugged him so hard, as if trying to protect him. A few days later, Ben came back home with us, and it was as if he and Dad were two totally different persons. They put their jealousies and fights aside and became something like best friends. Dad even helped and cared for Ben throughout his illness. One night, when they thought Mom and I were sleeping, I overheard them talk.
I will never be able to thank you enough for bringing me back to my family. What you did is just...
It's okay, Chris. You're a great man. I'm just happy you are in Emma's life. You both deserve each other.
They hugged before wishing each other good night. I went to sleep with the biggest smile I had ever worn in my entire life. Now a lot of time has passed, and a lot of things have changed. I'm not a child anymore, and my groom is in front of me, waiting for my, yes, I do. Mom and Dad are by my side, happily together and smiling at me. And even if I can't see you in the same way, Ben, I know you are here too, sitting silently between the seats of this splendid church and looking at me with your peaceful gray eyes. You are as real as the photo of you I have inside of the pearl-shaped necklace I always keep by my heart, as I have promised you. I never forgot you, Ben. All that you did for me, from your silly poems to the way you tied my shoes. You will always live with me. You'll always be my guardian angel. And I am your fair maiden.
Hi, I'm Lucy from the USA. Before we dive into the story, please like and subscribe. I'm just an ordinary high school girl living next door. Pretty, talented, and great at parties. I had everything I could ever wish for. Even my parents were awesome. There was just one thing I truly desired. A boyfriend. I had dated before, but all those guys turned out to be jerks. I even agreed to go out with a nerd once, hoping he'd surprise me. Never making that mistake again. No thank you. Next, I was starting to lose hope of ever finding my Prince Charming. That was until Mike came into my world years later in high school. My eyes were instantly hooked onto him. The looks, the smile, and the muscles showing under his shirt. I just had to have him, so I asked him out. Something I would never do normally, but it all worked out, because he said yes. It didn't take long for us to finally have our first dinner date. It was amazing. He was such a gentleman and knew just the right things to say. I knew the moment he took my hand that he was the one, but I couldn't shake the feeling of déjà vu, like I'd met Mike before. Oh well, I'm sure it's nothing. For the next few months, we went on many different dates, traveling all over the city, eating wonderful foods, and studying together at night. Everything was perfect. We had finally found a good boyfriend, and he was a keeper. But of course, something just had to happen to ruin it. Mike had planned a date at a fancy new restaurant downtown. I was so excited. I actually got ready early this time and speed walked to the restaurant with a spring in my step. But when I finally got there, my heart fell to the floor and shattered. Sitting next to my boyfriend was another girl with her arm around his shoulder. I didn't care if he looked a bit uncomfortable. I wasn't taking this betrayal lying down, so I burst through the doors and marched straight up to the duo's seat. Who is this?
Lucy, you're early.
Answer the question, Mike. How could you cheat on me?
Wait, I didn't cheat.
Who is this then?
Hello, you must be Lucy. I've been looking forward to meeting you. I'm Mike's big sister. The name's AVATA.
The girl's cheeky smirk nearly made me get physical, but her last words registered just in time. Sister?
Yep. I wanted to see who claimed my brother's heart and changed him so much. You see, I'm very interested because Mike and I are very close.
That's funny because he never mentioned you.
I thought I'd introduce you when the time was right. But since Vecta's here, I guess there's no time like the present.
Well, nice to meet you, but we are supposed to be on a date. I don't want to be mean or anything, but...
She's right, Vecta. You should go home. I'll be back soon.
Oh, she didn't like that. She looked at us both and instead of leaving, got comfortable.
Nah, you two just act like I'm not even here. You won't even notice me. Besides, I'm starving.
Fine.
Fine. It wasn't fine with me. But she was a sister, and it was just one evening. How hard would it be to get through? It turns out, really hard. She kept interrupting nonstop. Oh, Mike, I have this really funny story to tell you.
Ha ha! That's hilarious. Oh, stop it, Lucy. I think I just peed a little.
I didn't even tell it yet.
But I know it's really funny. You just said so yourself. Which reminds me, Mike, I've got a joke that'll make you poop. So a duck and a chicken walk into a bar.
She kept picking up food from Mike's plate and fussing over him.
Why would you order this dish? You hate olives and broccoli? Here, I'll take those. Also, you've got sauce on your face. There, I got it. Do you need to blow your nose, Mikey?
And when she wasn't acting like his freaking mother, she kept staring daggers at me. I tried to act like I wasn't bothered at all and leaned over to feed Mike some of my pasta. But seconds later, he started coughing and turning blue.
Oh my God, you poisoned him!
What? Of course I didn't. Mike, are you okay? Say something.
He can't, you moron. His tongue is swollen. What is in that pasta? Blueberries, kiwis, dandelion tea, rose hip oil, Diet Coke.
No.
Honey, oysters, anchovies.
Yes, it has anchovies.
Don't you know anything about him at all?
And with that, she quickly reached into her bag, pulled out an EpiPen, and stabbed him with it in the thigh. He gasped and coughed some more, but he could finally breathe.
What would you do without me, bro?
The date ended after that, thankfully. And as I went home, I hoped it was the last I'd ever see of her. But for the next 2 months, it was the same. No matter where we went and what we did, Vecta was there to ruin it. Mike just couldn't seem to shake her off and would let her stay. And she kept making it obvious that she disapproved of me greatly. I'd catch her staring at me with disdain, like I wasn't worthy of him or something. It didn't feel like the frustrations of some jealous ex, thank God. But it was something serious enough to squeeze herself in on our dates and annoy me while wearing the most outlandish cosplay outfits and hairstyles. So childish, it was even affecting Mike. He had been looking more downcast lately. What?
Look, she's my sister and I have been neglecting her recently.
But what about our date today?
She would just crash it as usual. I promise we'll hang out this weekend. Just the two of us.
He kissed me on the cheek and then left me devastated and confused. That night in bed, I stayed up pounding my pillow imagining it was Vecta's face. I wanted her private time back, but as much as I wanted to slap her, violence wasn't the solution. Instead, I needed to know what Vecta's problem was. There must be a reason for why she was acting the way she was. Luckily, a puzzle piece fell into place during the weekend. As promised, I was hanging out with Mike at his place. We were watching a cheesy romance movie while snuggling on the couch. Right on time, Vecta came out of nowhere and inserted herself into our lives again. No, literally. She came and sat between us on the couch holding a dead potted plant.
You let the plant die? The plant that symbolizes our bond as brother and sister.
I've never even seen that plant before. Vecta, what do you want?
A plant that's alive. But I guess that ship has sailed. Do you know what next week is? Michael?
Michael? Now why did that name sound so familiar? Before I could remember anything, Mike let out a loud sigh.
I told you not to call me by that name.
Whatever. Now guess before I call you by your real name again.
That's your real name?
Used to be anyway. I don't know what's happening next week, Vecta. Can you just leave us alone today?
A part of me was jumping for joy at the way Mike snapped at her, but another part noticed how hurt Vecta looked. I gave in to my more merciful half. What's happening next week, Vecta?
It's the annual LARPing capture, the flag event for our city.
LARPing? Like the thing nerds do outside? Playing pretend?
Yeah. Figures you would say that. Are you attending it with me, Michael? You can even bring your girlfriend.
Why would I do that? That's for losers.
Then Lucy should fit right in.
That was it. What is your problem? You.
Sis.
No, everything was fine before she showed up in your life.
I could say the same for you.
Stop it, you two.
No, not if we want this to stop for good. Vecta, I have a proposal.
Interesting. Shoot!
We'll join your stupid game. Do we play in teams?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Yeah, we do. I'll be on the team opposing yours.
If my team wins, you'll stop interfering in our relationship.
And if mine wins, you'll break up with Michael.
That is not your choice to make, Vecta.
What? Scared she'll lose? Get bored of you in the game? Walking away from both?
What? I wouldn't do that. I love Michael, and I'll prove it by beating you. Deal?
Deal.
We shook hands, and I suddenly realized I just made a deal with the devil. All because I let my emotions get the better of me. I don't even know how to LARP. But there was no backing down now. My relationship was on the line.
Before this is over, I'm going to remind my brother of who he really is, all while kicking you to the curb where you belong. Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Vecta left and I slumped down on the couch. What did I just sign myself up for? Mike sighed before looking at me with determination.
If we're going to do this, then I'll have to train you.
You know how to LARP?
Of course not. I just picked up some things from my sister.
If you say so, where do we start?
Conditioning.
Say what? Mike was not joking. I was put through actual exercises and drills like I was preparing for the army. I was seconds away from giving up, but I refused to lose to Vecta. So I pushed on. And you know what? I'm glad I kept at it. Sure, the conditioning was terrible, but once I was actually playing the game, it felt like I was in another world. It was magical and so different from anything I was used to. But what really made it all worth it was Mike. He was really enjoying himself. That and his immense knowledge on LARPing made it clear he had played before, although he refused to admit it. I hadn't seen him smile like this since, ever. Really. And if he was happy, I was happy. Eventually the weekend came and it was finally time for the event. And when we arrived at the venue, oh my God, there were at least 200 people here. They had even built small buildings and tents, and the large space with a nice forest surrounding us made it even more picturesque. Before I could really appreciate the beauty, Veta came running up to Mike.
Michael, you really came.
Of course, we both did.
Hello.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about you. Are you sure she won't slow you down? I'd hate for you to lose because of a handicap.
Hey!
No worries. She's a natural. She even started to like it.
She did?
Yep, this isn't so bad.
I'm sure she's just faking it. I'll prove it by winning this thing.
Before Mike could say anything, Vecta fled into the crowd. She really doesn't trust me, huh?
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. She's just a...
No. She's lonely, okay? Please don't hate her for this. It's my fault anyway.
Before I could dig further, a horn echoed throughout the field. It was almost time. The two teams, red and green, got into position. The two flags were placed in their proper bases. Finally, the next horn signaled the start of the battle. I kept close to Mike. Despite the training, this was still nerve-wracking. It was a struggle at first, but eventually I got used to it and started having fun. I could tell Mike was having a blast, too. Even more so when he noticed I was having fun, too. Eventually, our squad was closing in on the enemy camp. Our leader suggested a pincer attack. Mike was on the other attack squad, which nearly caused me to panic. But a comforting hand on the shoulder later, I calmed down. So we split up and went deeper into the forest. And this is where things got bad. One by one, my squad was picked off by some archer in the woods. It didn't take long for me to be the last one standing. That's when the culprit revealed herself.
I'm surprised you lasted this long.
Vecta, of course. We stared each other down before Vecta drew her foam sword and shield.
Let's make a new deal. The first one to get a hit wins. Same conditions from before apply.
I drew my own sword and shield. Fine.
Good. Prepare for failure.
Wasting no time, Vecta charged at me as if this was a life-and-death battle, and I responded in kind. I wasn't losing my relationship with Mike. We clashed repeatedly, trading blows on our shields, unable to get a body shot. Shockingly, I was holding my own. Mike had taught me well, touched an attack to my leg, and asked the burning question in my head. What is your problem with me dating Mike? Shouldn't you be happy for him? Now, that really got her mad, and she was lashing out even harder.
You seriously haven't figured it out? Of course not. Why would someone like you remember some poor nerdy boy who bravely asked the popular girl out?
Huh? Suddenly it all fell into place. Mike was Michael, the nerdy boy I had turned down all those years ago.
Michael used to be a big nerd, just like me, and we were always super close. But he decided to abandon who he is to become the kind of guy you'd want. A typical Prince Charming. I barely even recognize him now.
I felt ashamed of how I hadn't even given Michael a chance before I judged him by his appearance. Before I even got to know how sweet and amazing he was. But I knew that now, and I liked everything about him, nerdy side and all. I wasn't so shallow anymore. With renewed determination, I took advantage of Vecta's rash attacks and finally got a hit on her side. And she lost. She was about to break down into tears, but before that could happen, I hugged her. I get why you hate me, Vecta. And I'm sorry for turning him down like that before. Your brother is a great guy and I would never want to change him.
Are you serious?
Just then the horn blew, signaling someone had won. We ran back to the team and the sight brought another smile to our faces. Mike. No. Michael was being carried by his team while holding the green flag. And the smile he wore melted my heart. We won.
My brother is something special, huh?
He sure is. Hi, I'm Mariana from Brazil. Before I tell you my story, please like and subscribe. My parents were incredibly wealthy. Just kidding. We lived in the poorest neighborhood in town. Mom stayed at home and Dad mowed lawns. We barely had any money. Maybe I should have subscribed to this channel and tried to win $1,000. Hey, you should give it a shot. Fingers crossed. But anyways, being poor didn't stop my parents from spoiling my younger brother, Raphael, rotten. You see, Raphael was a genius. By the time he was 8 months old, he could recite his alphabet and count to 100. By the time he was 2, he was doing math equations and solving puzzles.
Our baby is a genius.
He's going to make us so proud!
And what am I, chopped liver? On my 5th birthday, instead of the princess house with the car and pool I wanted, Mom stitched me a doll from old clothes. We just don't have the money, sweetie. But Raphael received a brand new cat robot.
Sweetie, we had to get Raphael something as well.
That wasn't even the worst part. Raphael was permitted to attend school, but I wasn't. My parents claimed it was because Raphael had a unique talent. Therefore, they spent all their money to send him to a private school for gifted children. And they couldn't even afford to buy books for me to go to public school. Life felt so unfair. I felt utterly invisible.
Blah, blah,
The only time my parents saw me was when they wanted me to do some chore around the house. Over time, I just got used to it. And since I couldn't read books to myself, or I didn't have a phone to watch videos, I started sewing to pass the time.
Mariana, what have you done to my curtains?
I fell in love with creating new things from old items. I wanted to become a fashion designer because of the way my parents treated Raphael and me differently. We never grew close, and he always saw me as his slave, even though I was older than him.
Clip my toenails. Clean my shoes.
When I was 11, I pleaded with my parents to send me to a sewing school. Mom, Dad, I deserve to be able to follow my dreams too.
Haha. They can't afford to send you to some pointless sewing school when they're saving up to send me to the most prestigious college in the country.
I'm sorry, Mariana, but we have to support the child who has greater potential and will make the family proud.
With that, Mom and Dad just walked away while Raphael stood there with a smug grin on his face. Oh, I wanted to slap him so hard. It was at that moment I decided I would do whatever it took to get myself into a sewing school. I tried to find a job, but no one wanted to hire an 11-year-old, not even as a clown for birthday parties. When I turned 13, things seemed to improve, and I finally secured a babysitting job. But when my parents found out that I'd been neglecting household chores because of it, they were furious. I was grounded for 2 months, and Dad tore up all my designs that I had stuck on my bedroom walls over the years. I was devastated, but a tiny part of me refused to give up. I knew I had to be smarter this time. When I drew, I hid my drawings under the floorboards of my bed, and when Mom sent me to the supermarket, I'd pass by the wishing fountain and collect all the coins. Don't give me that judgmental look. But after 3 years of saving those coins, it still wasn't enough. Fortunately, my life took an amazing turn when I turned 16, setting things in motion for me. One day, while I was drawing in my room, I was so focused that I didn't notice a girl peeking in at me through the window.
Wow, that looks amazing!
I tumbled out of my chair and hit the floor. The girl then did a backflip through my bedroom window and landed inside. Had the circus come to town? What do you want? Did my parents send you to spy on me?
No, silly. I'm the new neighbor.
Of course, I didn't even let her finish. I just picked her up, tossed her out the window, and closed the curtains. As much as I wanted a friend, I didn't want anyone to know that I couldn't read or write. What would she think of me? But that didn't deter the crazy backflipper. Over the next few days, she did everything possible to get my attention, even juggling 3 cats while balancing a mug of water on her head. What a weirdo. One day I decided to take a shortcut home because I had seen a lady with the most amazing outfit and I wanted to get home and sketch it. Just then I heard a man yell behind me.
Watch out!
As I turned, I saw a huge crane ball coming my way. I was in place, but luckily for me, someone pushed me to the ground just in time.
Girl, are you crazy? This is a danger zone. Can't you read?
Oh God, I was sweating like a bald man in spring.
Can you read?
I sighed heavily and shook my head.
That's okay. I can't draw amazing fashion designs like you can. Let's go and grab some ice cream. My treat.
While eating the ice cream, crazy backflip girl, Julia told me that she had moved next door with her parents and older brother Harrison. Also that Harrison was a rotten egg and always got himself into trouble. She also told me that her father lost his job after his boss accused him of stealing money from his office and then blacklisted him so no one else would hire him while her mother worked as a maid for some rich lady. I told her that my parents hated me and wouldn't even let me go to school while they treated Raphael like he was a prince.
What do they think this is? The 16th century? No girl left behind. Woman power.
Over the next few months, Julia taught me how to read and write. She was a great teacher, and I was a quick learner. Julia's mother even supplied me with her old drapes to practice my designs on. As much as I loved my bestie, there was a downside of being neighbors with Julia. Harrison and Raphael became best friends, and they'd go out of their way to make mine and Julia's life a living nightmare. So we stayed out of their way as much as possible. But then one evening, when I was coming home after getting groceries, I saw two guys push some guy to the ground and grab his keys.
Hey, stop it! The guys looked around and I was shook. Raphael Harrison!
Let's get out of here!
They hopped into the car and sped off. Was Raphael crazy? That night, I cornered Raphael in his room. What the heck was that stunt you pulled today?
What I do is none of your business.
You're my younger brother. Of course it's my business.
If you tell Mom and Dad anything, I'll tell them that Julia has been tutoring you.
I couldn't afford to lose Julia's friendship, so I kept my mouth shut and kept a close eye on Raphael. I found out that he'd been failing his subjects in school, and he was missing classes to hang out with Harrison and his goons. I was so frustrated that I thought my head was going to explode.
Maybe you should start a podcast to ease some of your frustration.
Talk to strangers about my story? That'll be weird.
Sometimes strangers make the best listeners.
That night, Julia helped me set up an anonymous podcast using her phone. I went by the name Raven, and it felt so good to get so many things off my chest. But what felt even better was reading the comments, encouraging me to follow my dreams despite my parents' unfair treatment. They even encouraged me to open an online store and set up a GoFundMe to get started, and soon my clothes were being sold faster than I could make them. Yeah. I set up a secret workshop in Julia's basement where I worked at night. Over the next 2 years, it was a roller coaster. First, Harrison was arrested for pickpocketing and his father shipped him off to the Navy. When he left, Raphael got 100 times worse, and he was even kicked out of school. And he continued to hang out with the wrong crowd. And my parents always made excuses for him, but my life was super awesome. I saved up enough money to get into the most prestigious fashion school in the country. The only thing left to do was to send in my application, which required me to create any design of my choice.
You've got this, bestie. I'm rooting for you.
Over the next 2 months, I worked endlessly to create the most beautiful ball gown known to man. I needed to get into this school. I had something to prove to myself. A few nights before the submission of my dress, while at Julia's, I saw Raphael enter her bedroom. I snuck up to the door and peeked through the crack. I watched in shock as Raphael was stuffing his pockets with jewelry. Raphael! What on earth are you doing? Raphael gave me one look and jumped through the window like a frog. Julia and her parents had been too good to me to let Raphael get away with this. I ran home, but when I opened the door, the confrontation did an Uno reverse on me. Dad glared at me as he was holding a necklace in his hand.
Mariana, why was this in your dresser?
As if on cue, Raphael walked into the room to examine the necklace.
Wait, isn't that Julia's mother's?
You should know since you stole it.
Raphael told us that he saw you take this.
I didn't steal anything, it was Raphael.
I just don't understand where we went wrong with you.
Me? Raphael's the one who got kicked out of school. Genius, my butt.
We also found cash hidden under the floorboards. Where did you steal that from?
I froze. How did they? My eyes met Raphael's and an evil glint flashed over his eyes. That's my money. I earned it.
Stop lying, Mariana!
I think it's time to teach little Miss Fashionista a lesson that she will never forget. Raphael, bring the dress.
Dress? What dress? The words stuck in my throat when I saw Raphael return with my submission dress. I watched in horror as Mom lit the fireplace and took the dress from Raphael. Mom, please don't!
You will learn your place in this family, Mariana.
My mother threw my dress in the fireplace and it lit up quicker than a barbecue on Independence Day. I tried to get it out, but Dad and Raphael held me back as I kicked and screamed. After a while, my dress was nothing but ashes as an avalanche of tears ran down my face. I knew that my time in this family was up. I wanted to attack my parents and Raphael, but I decided to pack my bags and I went to Julia's. That night, after bawling my eyes out, I did a live podcast and revealed to my listeners what I had just endured under the hands of my parents. This time, I used their real names. Yep, I was done being the nice guy. By the next morning, My parents were chased out of the neighborhood, and the rich lady Julia's mom worked for pulled some strings and she got me another submission date.
Bestie, this dress is even better than the last one.
I have to admit, I really did outdo myself. About 2 weeks later, I received a letter in the mail. Beads of sweat ran down my forehead with trembling fingers. I opened the letter and my jaw dropped.
What does it say?
I got accepted into the fashion school. Yes! I felt as though I were on cloud 9. Over the next 4 years, while I was away at school, Julia went to a community college. I worked hard and came out at the top of my class. I earned a junior position in a fashion company. I even convinced Julia's dad to apply as a manager there, and he got the job. It wasn't long after they were able to move into a nice place. I was finally living my dream. One night after one of the company's shows, I spotted my parents in the hallway waiting for me. What are you guys doing here?
I see you're a fashion designer. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you. Words I always wanted to hear my parents say, but I knew they weren't sincere. Why are you here? Dad shifted uncomfortably.
Raphael's in trouble. He and some of his friends got caught breaking into a bank, and we need money to bail him out.
And after everything you and Mom did to me, you think that I would help you?
Sweetheart, we're family, and that's what families do. They help each other out.
But where was my family growing up? Where were you when I needed you?
Are you going to help or not?
Not. Had you done your job as parents and parented Raphael instead of letting him wrap you around his finger, he wouldn't be in a jail cell now. As I looked across the room, I saw Julia and her parents waiting for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to join my real family. I pushed past my parents and walked toward the people who helped me and never turned their backs on me. Family is not just about blood, but those who stood by you through thick and thin. Have I told you guys how amazing you are?
Not recently, no.
You guys are amazing.
So are you, bestie. I love you, and I'm so proud of you.
I love you too.
Hi, I'm Sophia from New Hampshire. Please like and subscribe. My sister Ivy and I are twins. Dad left before we were born, so I never knew him. Mom raised us on her own, and she was just something else. When we were babies, Mom forced us to wear helmets every day, except for when we slept. We even wore helmets in the bath when she wasn't washing our hair.
Mommy needs you to wear these, so you don't bump your heads and die.
She even placed mats all over the house. When Ivy and I were learning to crawl, our home felt like a massive, soft cushion. Worst of all, Mom never allowed us to go outside, except the nearby grocery store sometimes. And she took us to the park once a year on our birthday. But it was only when the house was empty at night, and we were stuck with online homeschooling. The world is full of kidnappers, diseases, and other terrible things that can harm you girls. Neither Ivy nor I understood why Mom was so strict, but I was always getting into trouble. I would bang and kick the walls or throw and break things. I hate this house. Mommy, I want to live outside like a panda.
Pandas do not get brand new iPads.
Yay, I get to play Candy Crush. Ivy never realized that Mom only bought us fancy things to keep us distracted, so we wouldn't try to escape the house. The only enjoyable part about being indoors was when Mom played music on the radio. My favorite was the rock station. But one time, I turned up the volume so loud that it felt like the house was shaking.
Ow, my ears!
I'm taking away this radio. You're lucky you didn't make us all deaf.
I hated Mom, and I was pretty sure she hated me. One day, when I was 8 years old, I woke up to Mom standing on my bed, drilling something into the wall. Mom, what are you doing?
I'm installing alarms that detect anyone trying to go out your window. This way, no kidnappers can get in, and you and Ivy can't get out either. Look, darling, I bought you a giant doll for you.
At that moment, something inside me snapped. I grabbed the giant doll and threw it hard at the window, smashing the glass. And then I jumped outside. Mom screamed. She leapt outside to catch me, but I was running like a lunatic. When I was certain I had gone far enough, I paused to catch my breath. Then I began doing a happy dance. I was free. Suddenly, I heard noise and stomping in the background. A bunch of guys with drums and guitars came marching down the street, and I was so thrilled. I never thought I'd hear music again. As they came closer, one of the guys called out to me.
Why are you hiding behind that tree, little girl?
I don't know. You might kidnap or kill me. Mom warned me about people like you.
What are you talking about? This is a music parade. Come sing with us.
Before I knew it, I was marching with the parade and singing along. It turned out I was a pretty good singer too. But all of a sudden, I saw Mom and Ivy running to me with about 10 cops. Mom took me straight to the doctor to make sure I didn't catch any diseases from being outdoors. For the next 4 years, that was the last time I ever got to be alone.
From now on, I'm never letting you or Ivy out of my sight. I'll work at home. You girls will move into my bedroom.
Ivy and I couldn't even go to the bathroom without Mom standing outside the door. But one night when I was 14, I saw Mom asleep and snuck upstairs to the attic. I needed a moment to myself. But when I got there...
Sophia, what are you doing up here?
What are you doing up here? Are you having a date?
No, duh, we're having a date. I did everything to escape all your mom's crazy alarm systems.
Wow, Ivy, I thought you were Mom's good little girl. But don't worry, I'll keep your little secret. But just then, Mom came running upstairs.
What on earth is going on here? Who on earth are you? Get out of my house this instant.
Mom, stop. You're embarrassing me.
Do you know what embarrasses me? That one of my daughters was on a cozy date with a kidnapper or a robber.
I jumped in and said, "He's neither of those things. He's my boyfriend." Mom grabbed a baseball bat in the corner as she swung it towards Ivy's date. He ran down the attic as fast as he could. That's when Mom burst into tears and started to pull her hair and yell like a toddler.
That boy in the house could have kidnapped you both. I've done everything to keep danger out of this house. But I failed. I have to send you girls to a strict boarding school with security cameras in every single room.
Good. Send us to boarding school. I'm tired of living with all your crazy rules.
But I don't want to go to boarding school. This is so unfair.
But 2 weeks later, Mom sent us away to boarding school. Ivy refused to talk to me there, and I couldn't take the tension between us. Please don't be mad at me. I even tried to keep your secret. I can't help it that Mom's a psycho.
Just leave me alone.
I grabbed Ivy's arm, but she pulled away. At that moment, Ivy tripped and fell straight to the floor. She started to cry, and tons of teachers came running. "I'm sorry, it was a total accident.
I think I broke a bone.
You sound just like Mom. Just because you fell down doesn't mean you broke a bone." But it turned out Ivy broke her leg, and an ambulance took Ivy to the hospital immediately. I probably should have gone with Ivy to the hospital, but something in the hallway made me forget all about Ivy's accident. There were all these photos of famous musicians. In the center was a musician that looked just like my mom when she was a teenager, and the name under it was also Mom's.
Hey, fancy bumping into you again.
I turned around to see the guy from our attic. "Aren't you my sister's boyfriend?"
Nah, your sister and I just had that one disastrous date. Why were you staring at that picture?
"I think this is my mom. She looks exactly like her and has the same name, Jen Zelda."
No, that's Jen Zelda, a teen rock star, but she stopped making music a long time ago. That psycho lady who tried to hit me with a bat is definitely not her.
It's not funny. You don't know what it's like to live with a crazy mom who hates you and spoils you at the same time.
Why do you think I'm in boarding school? My parents sent me here because they don't want me around.
Wow, I'm glad someone else's parents hate them too. I mean, not glad. You know what I mean? Listen, I need your help. I know it's impossible, but I need to find out if that girl in the photo is my mom. Nolan and I spent days researching Jen Zelda, but we couldn't find a picture of her that wasn't old. And no matter what, we couldn't find a reason why she quit her career. And Mom was nowhere on the internet. She was always worried about creeps and kidnappers finding out where she lived.
I don't get it. Just ask your mom about it.
She wouldn't tell me anything. She's crazy. She doesn't even let me listen to music, even though I love singing.
You like singing? Me too!
Before I could answer, I heard a noise behind me. I turned around to see Ivy in a wheelchair.
Sophia, where have you been? You never visited me in the hospital.
Ivy, I'm so sorry. I meant to visit you, but I found something crazy about Mom.
Wait, what's Nolan doing here?
I meant to tell you I transferred here and that your sister and I like each other.
Wait, what?
What do you mean like each other? You never visited me because you were hitting on a guy I dated. Sophia.
What? No, that's not it at all. Get off me. Nolan. Ivy could barely walk, but she limped away as fast as she could. I went after her to apologize, but her door was locked and Nolan followed me around all week.
Come on, I really like you. Ivy will get over it.
I wanted Nolan to leave me alone, even though he was cute and interesting. But when we both auditioned for the school band and got in, it was impossible to avoid him. I really wished Ivy would talk to me so I could tell her what I discovered about Mom. But she just wouldn't, and it was all I could think about. Could it really be that Mom had just been a completely different person before? And what happened to her? 2 weeks later, the day of our show arrived, and just as I stepped onto stage to perform, I froze in my spot. Mom was in the audience. Suddenly, I couldn't remember any of the lyrics to my song. I stood there completely blank as the band played on.
Get on with the song, you freak!
Boo, a loser!
All of a sudden, all the kids started throwing. I wanted to disappear, but then I had an idea. Hey, who wants to hear a former rock star sing, "I Want to Welcome" Zelda to the stage? I wanted to see how Mom would react.
Zelda isn't here! Idiot! Her career ended 30 years ago.
Everyone continued booing and throwing things at me. That's when Mom walked on stage and grabbed my microphone.
I knew this school wasn't strict enough.
Hey, it is Zelda.
Mom, is it true you were a rock star?
Never mind that. They let students be in a band. Bands go out at night with gang members and crazy people.
Mom, just sing with me!
Oh no! I know everything you girls have been up to. I downloaded apps on your phones that let me read your messages. This school is stupid and unsafe. And I came here tonight to take you both home.
Mom grabbed my arm and tried to drag me off stage. Kids were laughing like crazy.
It'll be fun. I bought a horse for you and Ivy. I'll go bring him.
What are we going to do with a horse? Why can't you just act normal for once and just sing with me?
Haha, who knew Zelda was a psycho?
I had never felt more humiliated. Before I knew it, I screamed, "Security!" My yell made my mic screech across the auditorium, and to my shock, security guards came running on stage to take my mom away. She cried and kicked her legs in the air.
I need to take them home. I even brought them their own horse.
I felt awful seeing the security guards take Mom away. But she was acting crazier than ever. I thought I'd call her the next morning to see how she was. But just then, Ivy came to my room and said the principal wanted to see us. Ivy and I walked into his office to find him sitting with another man.
Girls, you won't be seeing your mother for a while. She's in the hospital.
In the hospital? Is she hurt?
After what we saw on stage, we did an investigation. Your mother has a condition.
A condition?
It's called schizophrenia. Her brain works a little differently. She worries about things that other people don't worry about.
But she was a singer, wasn't she?
She was an incredible musician. Her condition is why she had to stop. But don't worry, girls. Your mother is in the hospital getting help, and you'll be able to see her soon.
Ivy and I were totally silent, walking out of the principal's office. For the first time in my life, Mom's weirdness sort of made sense. I wonder if that's why Dad left Mom. Because of her condition.
Dad should have taken care of her and inspired her to sing again.
A few weeks later, Ivy and I visit Mom in her treatment center. She was so happy to see us.
I'm so sorry about everything that's happened. And Sophia, I'm so proud of your talent. Music runs in our blood, honey.
In a couple of months, Mom was out of treatment and back home. It took a while for Mom to let go of her crazy rules. She never became completely normal, but she was so much happier. She told Ivy and me all about her life as a rock star. It turned out she and I were more alike than I ever thought.
Zelda really is your mom. And even though she's a little different, she gave you a killer singing voice. You're really going places, Sophia.
Nolan and I ended up dating all throughout high school. At the end of my senior year, we got a job at a production company. We had the opportunity that year to perform in a world tour. One day, I came into work with a present I'd bought to surprise Nolan.
You bought me a baby, babe? Is this your way of telling me I drool?
No, it's my way of telling you I'm pregnant. I know we only finished high school, but I love you, and I want to start a family with you.
What do you mean you're pregnant? We're going on a world tour. It's even in the contract. Don't get pregnant.
I thought you'd be happy.
Happy that you'd want to throw all our dreams away? Happy that we have to pay thousands of dollars to this company?
Maybe this is a sign we shouldn't go on this tour. Then we can raise our baby without anything holding us back.
I love you, and I don't want anything to hold us back. But I'm not ready to be a dad, Sophia. And I'm not going to raise this kid with you.
Nolan, are you leaving me?
I'm sorry.
My life only consisted of two things the next 9 months, pregnancy and debt from all the money I owed the company. I even had to move back in with Mom temporarily.
Don't worry about anything, sweetie. You can raise the baby right here.
Thanks, Mom. Just as long as you don't make him wear a helmet. Ivy and Mom were right next to me in the hospital when I gave birth to my perfect baby boy, Miles. Suddenly, I heard a voice behind me.
Is it cool if I hold him?
Nolan, what are you doing here?
I came to meet the mother of my son and to tell her that I made the biggest mistake of my life leaving her. I know you're not going to forgive me, but I want you to know that I've paid off all the debt to the music studio. I love you, Sophia. And I love our son, too. I always will.
So come back here and hold him then. Miles wants to meet his dad.
You can tell him I'm not going anywhere.